If you really listen to the song, Kiki, do you love me? That's a bad. It's not a good song.
Oh, you don't like that song?
It's catchy. It's
You
catchy.
forgot-
It's a catchy song.
You want to know?
It's a catchy song.
Everybody was on that.
Benny.
No, it's a catchy song. I think it is a catchy song.
Yeah.
And I think for the moment, and even God's plan, right? I think there's a lot of songs in Drake's catalog that define a moment, but didn't really translate beyond that moment because we, as a consumer, was programmed. Now, the one thing that I've learned about working in TV and film, there are literal departments called the programming department, right?
Yep.
And even when you watch TV, this is a program, a national televised program that you're watching. And because we use the word so casually, I don't think we really understand what that word is saying and what it means. We're being programmed.
Yeah.
Right? There are people
Music
who are
decide.
in place who are making decisions
Yes.
that consciously want to subdue your unconscious thinking of programming.
Yes.
I believe a song like Kiki, do you love me? That like you feel whatever you feel because you lived through that moment. But it's not a song, in my opinion, that's necessarily good. I think we were programmed to believe and feel and think in that moment. Like shout out to Shiggy.
And Odell.
Shiggy had a moment, and sure, Odell too. Shout out to anybody who made that song what it was for that time. And I highlight Shiggy because the reason why a Shiggy and a Drewski, right? They use the same platform. They use the same elements to be introduced to us, to capture our hearts and our algorithms and all of these things. I don't know Shiggy personally, but what I do know is the algorithm. And what I do know is the demand. There hasn't been a demand for a Shiggy in a very long time. We haven't seen him. He was the it guy. He was the it Instagram comedian through the dances and all of these things. And it's not there anymore. Yeah. And I'm not saying he has his moments where he's hilarious. He's hysterical. He's funny. But I think with that particular instance, with that song, every time you walk in a room and people play that song, they want you to dance. Because he's programmed. We're programmed to think that about him. So once that phase of the programmatic algorithm, whatever you want to call it, is no longer relevant or it has no influence, it's not able to sustain. Whereas a Drewski, he's funny. There's nothing programmatic about Drewski that says, oh my God, keep him. No. He just genuinely has something about him. He has an it factor that just keeps him on my algorithm and makes me want to be engaged with him. And I think that song and I think that comparison of the Instagram comedians, whatever you want to call it, influencers, I think a lot of it is programmatic. And I think Drake has had that influence. And like you go back to Lucian. First off, I can't trust anybody named Lucian.
That's a fact. Sound like some
it is too close to Lucifer.
That's a fact.
It is way like what the fuck? Nobody ever thought this.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thought this. You thought this?
No, it's funny because I've always I just said it with reincarnation, right? I've always unfortunately associated the music business with having a very dark side. For
sure.
So it's so fitting that the head of Universal Music Group, last name is Lucian.
The names do look similar.
First name Lucian look
crazy.
like I don't know anybody who starts a name with L-U-C besides Lucille. Lucille, they were done in like the 80s, the 90s. Roberts? Like that's it. After
hey Lucy.
Lucian, like no. Yeah. So that being the first point, like I don't trust nobody named Lucian.
Right. And it's alleged that UMG lowered their licensing rates
with Spotify.
And business.
Once again, it's business. And who's to say that they didn't do the same thing for you? This is going to open up a bevy of conversations that I don't know if he's really ready for. Granted, when you're taking on an entity like this, part of me
just about to say,
right, part of me is thinking to myself, you're either really, really, really smart or you're really, really, really hurt about how things have transpired. And I'm praying to God it's the first one because I do see how there could be some level of opportunity for the payola thing that's mentioned in the petition, how, you know, certain entities and radio stations are paid to play certain things and how that could hinder other artists. I get all of that old dandy, but my real beef is that you didn't do any of this before the battle.
It's not genuine. Reg, you got something to say?
So speaking to Alex being like, I don't know if you're just really smart, and then also what Pierre said before about like, why would he do this? Like the confidence he has to just do this. I was thinking like why is Drake doing this? So I'm thinking like he's probably right. Like he probably has a plan in place where he can win whatever. I know it's not a lawsuit yet, but like he could probably win this and prove that he's right and that they are inflating the numbers. That's cool. Like if he is successful at what he's trying to do, but if he wins this, I think like him doing this, no amount of money could justify like the reputation hit he's gonna take because he did this.
For sure.
So I think overall, like I just don't know what your end goal is. Like, yes, if you prove that Kendrick's numbers weren't inflated, cool. Like you were right, Drake, clap for you, but like now people are gonna think about you as the guy of like filing a lawsuit because you were upset that Not Like Us was doing well.
While trying to
when it's
I
a
think
really good song.
that damage is worse. I'm saying like,
when it's a really good song, like
and you don't try to mask as a hero though.
like taking down the music industry.
Yeah, because you would have done it before the battle if you genuinely felt this way. Now, granted, this has been something that has been in the works for a while. I don't want to sit here and come up and lie up here and say that, yo, this is overnight. No, him and his team have been working on this, so all of that is understood.
Yeah, the 100 gigs. That's why all the stuff was released on this.
Even on songs from 2015, right? Like, there's songs where he's mentioning how the higher-ups are trying to deal with him or take his career to another level. If you've been sitting on this since 2015, and it's 2024, and at the end of a battle that you thought you were going to win, you end up losing public perception on, and now this gets filed? Come on, bro. I'm looking at you like, what's going on here, man?
Let me ask. No, go ahead. I was going to ask you. So we've all seen Drake's success.
Right.
Do you think in 2015 he realized, oh, shoot, I'm on the trajectory to outperform this contract?
Absolutely. I think
So
Drake
is he
is
wrong?
wrong.
You said 2015?
No, 2014, 2015, whatever year Alex just said.
I think the moment in the year, again, I'm forgetting the song. You guys will tell me in the comments. There's a song from 2015. I can't remember the song where he's saying the higher ups have all came together to conspire against me. Some shit like that. That happened in 2015. So you've known of something.
Yeah.
And you also know how maybe your contract, your deal is structured very differently than your peers. So you've known this for a very long time. If you've known this for a very long time, and this is really about the fight against labels, this is really about the fight for artists and things of that nature and the things that we should be privy to in terms of information and things like that, then you would have been done this, bro. Mm-hmm. You would have been done this a long time ago. So,
the issue that I have with Drake is the same issue that I have with The Rock.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Wait, what?
No.
Yeah, because we trying to figure it out.
No.
By the way, your clip about Vin Diesel versus The Rock did so well for us.
It did
Claps
really
to you.
Great clip.
Thank you.
Great clip.
It blew up on TikTok and Instagram.
Facts.
My ball brothers unite. But the issue that I have with Drake is the issue that I have with people like Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart. Uber talented people that have the support of the machine. But whenever it goes against their image, their likeness, their mission, they try to become a martyr, or they try to appear to be a martyr, right? And let me not put this on Kevin Hart. I don't think that's happened to him just yet. The Rock, he's had some films that have struggled, but in particular when it comes to Drake, you're not a martyr. You just happen to lose a rap battle where culturally, and this is the first time you haven't been the favorite on the card, right? Yeah. If this was a boxing match, you would be the underdog. And you aren't used to being the underdog, although your whole presentation has been being the underdog, right? Like if you listen to Headlines, one of my favorite songs by Drake, he talks about being the underdog. All of Drake's, like, Do Not Disturb. I love that song too.
Great song.
An amazing song. When you listen to the lyrics, it's him putting himself in a position of being an underdog. Although he hasn't been an underdog for quite some time. He just hasn't been. But now that you're actually, right, now that the marketing around being an underdog doesn't work and you actually are the person who isn't the favorite in this battle, in this fight.
Right.
You're uncomfortable with that, it seems. So you file the lawsuits. And then to go back to my point about being culturally relevant or not, it's like, okay, yes, if you want to accuse people of inflating your streams or inflating Not Like Us' streams and all of those things, cool. I don't know. I don't have the answers to that. To TBD, right? To be determined. But one thing you can't deny is something like a Genius. Genius.com, which we all know for lyrics and the accuracy of lyrics, put out a list that says, hey, these are the most popular lyrics that were searched in 2024. Number 1 was Not Like Us, the first verse. Number 2 was Like That from Future, Kendrick Lamar, and Metro Boomin. The second verse, not just the song, but in particular, the second verse of that song was the second most viewed or looked into lyrics of this year.
Which shows retention.
Number 3 is Euphoria, the second verse by Kendrick Lamar. Number 4 was the intro to Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar. Number 5 was Not Like Us, the first verse by Kendrick Lamar. Number 6, Euphoria, first verse by Kendrick Lamar. So I say all of this to say that, yeah, sure, maybe you could make a case that they may have inflated their biggest product, which everybody is doing. Right?
Everybody.
Every major company is inflating everything because they have the capital, the marketing budget to do so, especially when it applies to you. God's Plan is a really good song in the moment. Today, I'm not getting in my car and I'm not playing God's Plan. I'm sorry.
I'm with you.
It's the biggest. It's
Speak
one
for yourself. No, I'm kidding.
It's one of the biggest songs in his career. Culturally, I don't think it has the lasting power of a Not Like Us or even a Like That, right? Like, it just, to me, and maybe I'm in a fucking
Those are-
Kendrick
yeah.
tunnel, but I don't know.
Those are
It's-
Drake
Those are two
clean
different.
off.
Those
I
are
don't
two
know, but
different things.
It's a
though.
great song.
Kendrick doesn't have a one dance though.
He doesn't. And he doesn't have a controller. And he doesn't have
I
a
don't know if
controller.
those were inflated because that cultural impact did happen.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
That's
these
what
are
I'm saying.
cultural, impactful songs. But Drake, you just gotta understand, like, Not Like Us, it said more than just being a great song. No, this was a cultural phenomenon.
It was.
Yes, a
yeah.
cultural phenomenon that you need to pay attention to, because if you won this battle, these are tactics that you would have protected. 30 for 30. I'm sorry. Yeah, get it off, Reggie.
And
Go ahead.
going after the streams of Not Like Us, I don't think that win is going to be worth it.
It's
is what I'm
not.
saying.
It's not, because again, you would have to prove that this song wouldn't have done well without the placement of whatever was used, which
is hard to
Which is
do.
hard
Oh,
to
yeah,
do
yeah,
with
yeah.
what SaVon just eloquently broke down
But that's
on
why,
the internet.
That's why he's asking for the information from UMG.
But see, that's what I'm thinking. You're looking for a smoking gun. You're literally looking for the text message. You're looking for the email. Like, this is very particular things you're looking for. You can't just grab it from data.
But even if you find the smoking gun,
Yeah.
there's gonna be somebody who can say, hey, wait, y'all remember that Drake song that was like everywhere? Let me go find a smoking gun for that. Like, you are the golden
You're opening
child.
up.
You're not
Yeah.
you're like,
It's a
you know
great
what?
point.
If Big Sean or Wale came out with this
Strays.
no, because they probably feel underappreciated and underrated.
Or Meek.
Right?
Imagine if Meek
a
did
Meek
this.
Mill, if any of those guys came out and filed this lawsuit, I would be like, you know what? Let me really look into this.
Yeah.
Because these are amazing artists. They make amazing songs. They came out during the same time. There's no way that maybe they shouldn't be a little bit bigger than what it is they seem to be perceived as, right?
Yeah.
If one of them came out and said, hey guys, I'm going to take down the music industry because I've been unjust, right?
Right.
I may take it a little bit differently.
Right. Like,
But because the person who has benefited the most from streaming is doing
The
this,
most.
because he's been called a PDF, right? And I'm doing that for social media purposes only, a PDF, right? Like, because you've been called that, now you want to kind of make this fit. And it's not, it doesn't align, it doesn't track with who you are and what it is that you stand for. I'm sorry.
Like, if I'm Meek-
I'm sorry. I love you, Drake. Pipe Down's my favorite song. Pipe
love-
Down's
we
one of
love
my
that song.
favorite songs of
Yo.
all time.
we love that
I
song.
love it. I will
If-
listen to it till I die.
I love yelling that song.
Facts.
Yell it with me.
Like, if I'm Meek, should he come out and say that Back to Back, which was nominated for a Grammy, was inflated? There's so many different ways and parallels that him and his team should be looking at this like. And I found the song, by the way, it's the 30-30 freestyle, 30 for 30 freestyle. That's the joint project with him and Future. Look, never thought I'd be talking from this perspective, but I'm not really sure what else you expected when the higher ups have all come together as a collective with conspiracies to end my run and send me a message. 40, did you get the message? This is 2015.